A Voyage to Laputa, Balnibarbi, Lugnag, Glub Dub Drib, and Japan, by Jonathan Swift. Narrated by Peter Silverleaf. Chapter 1. The author sets out on his third voyage, is taken by pirates, the malice of a Dutchman, his arrival at an island, he is received into Laputa. I had not been at home above 10 days when Captain William Robinson, a Cornishman, commander of the Hopewell, a stout ship of 300 tons, came to my house. I had formerly been surgeon of another ship where he was master, and a fourth part owner in a voyage to the Levant. He had always treated me more like a brother than an inferior officer, and, hearing of my arrival, made me a visit, as I apprehended only out of friendship, for nothing passed more than what is usual after long absences. But repeating his visits often, expressing his joy to find I in good health, asking whether I were now settled for life, adding that he intended a voyage to the East Indies in 2 months, at last he plainly invited me, though with some apologies, to be surgeon of the ship, that I should have another surgeon under me beside our 2 mates, that my salary should be double to the usual pay, and that having experienced my knowledge in sea affairs to be at least a quarter equal to his, he would enter into any engagement to follow my advice as much as if I had shared in the command. He said so many obliging things, and I knew him to be so honest a man, that I could not reject this proposal. The thirst I had of seeing the world, notwithstanding my past misfortunes, continuing as violent as ever. The only difficulty that remained was to persuade my wife, whose consent, however, I at last obtained, by the prospect of advantage she proposed to her children. We set out the 5th day of August, 1706, and arrived at Fort St. George the 11th of April, 1707. We stayed there 3 weeks to refresh our crew, many of whom were sick. From thence we went to Tonkin, where the captain resolved to continue some time, because many of the goods he intended to buy were not ready, nor could he expect to be dispatched in several months. Therefore, in hopes to defray some of the charges he must be at, he bought a sloop, loaded it with several sorts of goods, wherewith the Tonkinese usually trade to the neighbouring islands, and putting 14 men on board, whereof 3 were of the country, he appointed me master of the sloop, and gave me power to traffic while he transacted his affairs at Tonkin.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?